Thank you, Mr President. My question is to Senator Lundy, representing the Minister for School Education, Early Childhood and Youth. Are Minister Garrett's comments today that there are still high levels of bullying in Australian schools and legalising same-sex marriage could spare some Australian teenagers from bullying on the basis of sexual orientation, based on the recognition that improving policy protections and setting an example through federal laws is a way to reduce these young people's risk of homophobic bullying?
The Minister representing the Minister for School Education, Early Childhood and Youth, Senator Lundy.
Thank you, Mr President. Can I say to the Senator, we are of course committed to the highest possible standards of education in Australia. This is reflected in our vision for school improvement, our National Plan for School Improvement, and I know the Minister has made several statements across a range of topics such as those you've described in your question to this effect. Whilst I don't have a specific brief on the issues that you raise, I am able to say that through the National Plan for School Improvement, the additional resources provided to schools will allow for a range of, I suppose, improved resources in individual schools to allow these kinds of issues to be addressed. And by improving the ability of each school to take on issues beyond just the curriculum and provided a standard of care and education that is as yet unseen in our generation, Mr President, is something I'm extremely proud of. In fact, one of the motivations behind our National Plan for School Improvement is to take the opportunity that we have as a Labor government to make what is effectively a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to change the face of education, understanding that by investing in our young people, we are preparing this nation for the future in a way that is unable to be compared with any previous investment. In fact, so much so that our National Plan for Schools Improvement is the single largest investment in school education that Australia has ever seen. And by making that investment, I think we show not only those opposite up as far as our respective policies go, but they are yet, at least in this place, to get behind our vision for our National Plan for School Improvement, despite the fact that we've had several
Order. Time's expired. Time's expired. Senator Wright.
Yes, thank you, Mr President. Thank the Minister for her answer. A supplementary question. Given that there are lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender and intersex students in every education system in Australia, including religious schools, does the government agree that the way to reduce bullying against LGBTI youth, no matter which school they are enrolled in, if that school receives public monies, would be to require all schools to comply with federal anti-discrimination law?
The Minister. The Minister.
Thank you, Mr President. With respect to the application of the anti-discrimination laws, I would certainly defer to my colleagues in the House, the respective minister, both the Attorney-General and indeed the Minister for Education, for specific policy statements in that regard. I don't have them in my brief before me, but I am again incredibly proud of the fact that I'm part of a government that has made substantial steps in removing discrimination against gay and lesbian people and the discrimination they face within the Australian community. In fact, it has been the Labor government that has taken the most substantive steps in this regard, with several pieces of legislation to remove this discrimination.
Senator Wright.
Yes, thank you, Mr President. For the supplementary question, does the government agree with the Shadow Attorney-General's statement last night that anti-discrimination laws should not be universal because freedom of religion supersedes freedom from discrimination on the basis of sexual orientation? And if not, will the government join with the Australian Greens in standing up for the human rights of our students and support our amendment to the Australian Education Act that all schools receiving public funding must comply with federal anti-discrimination laws?
Good question.
Order. 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 Senator Lundy.
Yeah, thank you. In response to that question, I don't think I can add any more to my initial answers. I think it is clearly a specific policy in relation to Attorney Generals and discrimination. I will say that as far as our general approach to the fight against discrimination in all its forms, whether it's on the basis of sexual orientation, whether it's on the basis of race, whether it's on the basis of religion, is incredibly well developed and something we're very proud of.
Senator